Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K Team. Speak your thoughts to lose your mind. And hey, I know, we in the room today. You know what I'm saying? But we all got some things to do. We've been kind of busy, so we're just kind of working in a try type of way. So my producer's out of the control room. Shout out to my producer Josh Lovett. And it's Monday. It's 8:02 p.m. What's up, everybody? And you guys have seen the flyer. And we definitely have a special guest in here today, and I really can't wait to have a full discussion with this young gentleman, man. Actually, we go way back, you know what I'm saying? At least 20 years, you know what I'm saying? And he's just been to me, man. He's been an inspiration to me because just to how truthful he is, and pretty bold. I watched him when I was in college, and as a young adult and even to an older adult, just seeing him blossom, you know what I'm saying, becoming the person that he is. And so before I introduce this person, you know what I mean? First of all, hey, everybody. I want you guys to like, share, subscribe to Royce's Rant. I need you guys to share. Like, go ahead and share right now. I'm actually about to find this watch party right now. So everybody start a watch party on your phones and just let that junk run for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And let me do that just real quick here for the people. Yeah. I need everybody to share. Share right now. I'm gonna give y'all like 15 seconds to do that. Because I'm doing the same thing right now. And here we go. Boom. All right. Cool. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we have the inspirational, the outspoken, the courageous, entrepreneur, intelligent, young black male here. He goes by the name of Tavarus Taylor, aka Viva Castile. You can find him on Facebook, not Facebook, but on Still one split up. Can you hear me? You can turn up the volume. You got your volume up. The volume. You got it. You got your audio.
Hello.
Okay.
We were talking to someone else. Hi.
What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Good. Yes. Everybody share. Shout out to BJ Anderson, Kelly Herford, BJ Kennelly. Y'all go ahead and share this, man. Help your brother out real quick. That's what I'm doing right now. Trying to help everybody. Especially my people off in Tullahoma, Tennessee, Winchester, Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? That's all alma mater. You know what I mean, man?
Stuffing grounds.
Yes, sir. Man, so how you doing right now, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm figuring all this out. I got everything situated right here. I got my right here.
I see it.
Yes.
Well, man. I feel like everybody knows who you are. You know what I'm saying? But
that's a problem sometimes.
Hey man. But for those who don't know, just give them just a brief description generally, just about yourself, and we're gonna get more detail.
Oh wow! So it's always crazy when I get that question asked. Everyone's always like, give me a brief description. Well, I just recently had a birthday. I turned 38. There's a lot of ingredients that goes into being Tavarus Taylor. But for this particular situation, I am a gay black male here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm in the sales industry. I am, in my opinion, a phenomenal drag queen. That lives to, inspire others and just have fun doing it. It's art. So I'm a brother. I'm a son. I am an uncle. I'm me. I'm Tavarus Taylor, man. There's not any other Tavarus Taylor that I've met.
I dig it, man. Now, see, tell them, we from THS, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you were a pretty good athlete, man. I think weren't you a part of that 4x4 state championship team?
I was that third leg. I remember
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Man, do
Yes.
you know when I heard about that when I was in school, I was in college in Arkansas. And when I heard that, I was like, that was too many, that 400 and that 200 is so close together. You don't get time to breathe. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? But like y'all have always been consistent, man, and like just running the right set of times, man. When I heard that, when y'all won the state, man, I was like, yo, this is it was you, Chris Harrington, Russell, and who else?
And Tim DeLauder.
Tim
I
DeLauder.
believe it's Tim DeLauder. Yes. I mean,
Shout
and
out.
he runs like a horse anyways. Like I remember him. I think Chris Harrington ended it, and I think Chris Harrington ended it. I believe Tim may have started it, and it was Russell Crossway
Yeah.
and myself. And that 300 they always say when you hit that 300-meter wall, like that's where it kind of kicks in.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's the 150. So when I hit that 150 wall, it was like I feel like I was blurple. The color came out of me, vomiting at the finish line, but we did it. So yes.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, man, let's eavesdrop a little bit into, what I'm saying, the conversation right now, man. I'm gonna tell you why I titled this Catch 22. Because I know when we were speaking a few weeks ago or whatnot, you were explaining how you're like as a gay black male, you deal with two different things at least. I think you were describing that. Can you mind reiterating that though? Like the things that you deal with as a black male, and then also being gay too. Like, what has been the conflict with that over the years?
Oh my goodness. I think the biggest conflict of being a gay black male, especially here in the South, is you get that kind of stereotype that you're not a man. Like there's been some pretty vulgar things that have been said, kind of like within people that I consider family and, friends. So it's one of those things where with everything going on right now with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything, which I'm totally for. I mean, like my people, like, I mean, however, with that being said, there was a time where it was growing up as a black male, it just felt different. It felt like I was involved in a couple of fights, not only for my life as a black man, but also for my life as a gay man. So, it was challenging.
Got you. I got you. And I know, and I'm gonna keep it real. Like, what I'm saying? We honest up in here. I remember in high school, and this is just from my experience. In high school, tell me if I'm wrong, but you dealt with some bullying in high school, correct?
Yeah, it was, it was bullying, but it wasn't, I have some friends that have gone through bullying and it was like the extreme side of bullying. But I think the fact that it was, I really didn't hit my growth spurt until I was like out of high school. I was looking at a picture the other day when we were playing football and I was like probably the smallest person on the team. So
Yeah.
things are different then. So yeah, it was crazy. I dealt with a little bit of bullying in high school, middle school. I remember some of the guys chasing me through the cafeteria and trying to shove me into a locker. I remember getting into an altercation. I remember a guy literally calling me a nigger in my class and was just and we got into a situation where there was like, those desks that had like we could put the books inside of the desk kind of deal.
Yeah.
It ended up getting to that point where, like I was so small, like I literally picked up one of those desks because I was so over it. I was always in trouble, always in trouble. It was always either you fag or, or it was just either like, have some white people that would just kind of call you out of your name. And it was just always something for me, it was like, it was constant. But looking back on it now where I'm at, I think that it contributed or contributes to who I am today. And as bad as that was, I can't really say I would change those experiences.
No, I feel you. And so now we were having a conversation, before we got on, and I was, and I guess I'll finish that story what I was talking about. And I had a show on it like probably 4 or 5 months ago, about I was sexually abused. You know what I'm saying? As a child between the ages of 7 and 12 years old, by the same sex. Um, I know, like I was telling you, I dealt with a lot of confusion because that was my first sexual experience, you know what I'm saying, with anything. I remember that I was so, it had been done to me so much that I think on my 10th birthday, there was this chick in the neighborhood. She brought me back to the guy's house in his backyard or whatever, and she was like, she said, I got a surprise for you. And I'm like, I said, what? And she unzipped her pants and she showed me her vajayjay. But
Wow.
the gunshots, boy, he crazy. But I said, where is your shit at? I was looking for a penis, bro.
You.
That's what I was looking for because I didn't know any anatomy. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen the anatomy of a woman as far as just ass naked. You know, the male anatomy, whatnot, just for 5 years. So I was really conflicted until I got about the age of like 12 years old, probably about 12 years old. And I don't know, it was just like my mind just clicked into another direction. You know what I mean? It's where I kind of found out what I wanted, you know what I'm saying, and what my preference was. And I really didn't look back after that. But what I did kind of hold on to was the understanding and I guess what you would call like a gaydar. You know, you heard that before.
I have.
Yeah,
I don't think that. I think that I think that we all go. I think that while some people they don't want to admit to themselves that when you are in that stage of maturing and trying to find the identity that belongs to the individual as a person, everyone goes through that experience stage. I'm not going to call any names, but even in that process of growing and finding out who I was, there was guys that I went through that experience stage with, and now they have families and now, but I don't think that's out of the norm at all,
So let me ask you this, if you don't mind. Like, when when did you reach a point in your life where there was a crossroads where you're like, okay, I finally accepted who I am and I'm okay with it, and I'm gonna be bold, strong with it, confident. When was that turning point in your life where you said, "Fuck it, man, let's go"?
I think I said fuck it when I was got ready to graduate high school. And my guidance counselor had told me basically that I wasn't equipped to go to university and everything that I thought I was going to do had kind of taken a back
Yeah,
seat, you know? And then I think that I went to a community college whereby I met some amazing individuals. I even dated some amazing girls while I was in college in the process of trying to figure this out.
okay, okay,
Um, so it was indeed a process. And then it was just something different. I went to a gay bar and it was just, I remember everything that I had experienced when I was younger had all kind of came back because, being in the South and growing up where we grew up and having that, it was like church, like Bible study on Wednesday,
yeah,
church, you go to church and have Sunday school, not get out of church till like 1 o'clock. Then you're back there eating supper. Then you got evening church. Like then you got choir practice. Like we was always in the church. And then the gay people that I did see growing up was always on Jerry Springer or in a
yeah,
weird situation or related to a dramatic, impoverished situation. And, it was
yeah.
just, they were presented like just bad people. I
Right.
remember to this day when I was growing up, there was a gentleman that lived in Tullahoma. And I remember the fact that he had been murdered by two guys and stuffed in the trunk of a car and left to burn there. And
How did I miss that? What, that was in Tullahoma?
that was, yeah, out on Ovoka, like I think it was close to Ovoka
Oh,
Lake. Yeah.
something always happening in November. But how long was that ago? What was that?
Um, I'm not really for sure, but it was, I think maybe when we were like middle school, high school times. I don't know
Oh,
exact
okay,
on the
okay.
date, but I don't know who's all watching, so I don't want to call any names. But
No,
what they
no, I
did is
feel
they put him in the trunk of the car and they shot him and they murdered him. So think about being in that environment and that's how they're treating gays, and you are trying to find out who you are, and it's like, what?
you.
And then you hear them doing that to black men, because right, like my grandfather, you know, like growing up, my grandfather would always say, like, don't go to the lake with them white people, honey, you won't come back, you know, or don't trust them, and had that mentality because of his experiences growing up as an elder, you know. And so not only are you fighting for your life over here and watching your back as a black guy or a black male, now you got to watch out because you're different. You don't know what that is yet, but you know that you shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, no, I feel you, especially in the Bible Belt where we from, you know, it's definitely a taboo.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. How was once you went through that stage of like when you said like fuck it, all right, so I'm out of high school now, I'm about to live my life. Did you and let's keep it real because we got to speak about the elephant in the room. You know, okay. Did you get more? I would say this: who accepted you more in the gay community? Would it be black? Would it be black people or white people, or was it like an equal thing?
Well, I'm glad that you said that. If I'm going to be completely honest, it was white people accepted me more. There's that gunshot again. But it was white people that because I feel like, here's how I felt. I feel like in our black culture, we defined everything through the Bible and through the scripture and through the teachings. And every time we have a disagreement, we have to have a Bible verse that goes with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like that's one of those things that we've kind of held on to through generations as a foundation of strength, a pillar of faith. You know what I mean? Anytime something happens, God's going to work it out. You know, if God said it, don't do it, you know? So it was really challenging because I felt safe over here with people that were white and different, because I guess in my eyes, they were different also. You know what I mean? It was a challenging time, man. It was indeed a challenging time. So yeah.
Why do you feel that? You know what I'm saying? Our own, I would say really the brothers, like why do you think that we have been that way?
You know, I think that it's generational. I think that sometimes we are I'm a firm believer, when you know better, you do better. And sometimes when you're in those certain environments, you know, that's all you know. I knew there was a time with, like, as far as like, I mean, my family and I, we are like here right now. That was a trying time for us because they didn't understand that. And in the process, I didn't understand that, you know? So I was trying to make them accept something that I didn't understand. And they were trying to, you know, they were not trying to accept that because of what they understood, you know, as far as faith and stuff goes. So I think that in our culture, like as far as like oppressionism and things like that goes, sometimes we lose out on so much that all we have to hold on to is our faith, and we keep that as something that's sacred. You know what I mean? If it's in the word, it's true. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when it comes to this, all right. So what's everything that's going on right now? It seems like police brutality 2.0 again. Like here we go again. You know, with the way the media is really, I don't want to say cracking down, but showcasing this image of the black male and the black woman, you know, being killed by the police or brutally beaten. Not to say that there's not anything else going on around with other people or with white people or any people of other color. It's just what the media is portraying right now, and I feel like that they are. I just feel like they're trying to tarnish that image. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to make us feel like we're targeted. But this is my segue though. Like I remember when we were speaking. I remember this meme, and it was a gay black male in the middle. It had the police gun to one side of his head, and then it had a black male, you know what I'm saying, yapping on the other ear. And that's why I came with that catch-22, because it's like, well, damn, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. Does it feel like that you have two enemies sometimes?
You know, yeah, it does. It feels like, you know, it's more than two enemies, because not only as a black male do you have like your brothers and sisters over here. I'll tell you, my sisters have been really good. I'll take that back. My sisters have been really good. You get some of them that just have that attitude where you just can't really adjust it and you just like, girl, bye. But as far as like the warmth, it's been difficult with Black males than it has as far as like, I've been called some crazy things, like, and it's crazy. Like I have friends that I know and I've known for a while, and I tell you the most uncomfortable thing for me, because I've always been 100%. I've always been just who I am, faults and with the good and the bad, But it's weird because I feel like sometimes when I have some of my friends that have been Black, and we go into a situation like they're one way, and then we get around a group of Black people, and all of a sudden, "What's up, my nigga? What's up?" And I'm thinking, well, wait, what? I'm like, I'm totally confused right now. But it's one of those things. Like it's one of those like I don't understand that. So but at the same time, I've had some great encounters with some of my Black friends that I've had also. And I think it has to do with growing up in the South, growing up in the country, growing up where religion and values are respected, and people are kind of designed to think like that. You know what I mean? Like in the South and the rural areas, I'm a firm believer in faith. But come on now.
Yeah. I already know.
Yeah.
I already know. And which come to this question here. Do you feel that the Black Lives Matter movement leaves you out?
I don't feel that the Black Lives Matters movement leaves me out, because I am a Black male, first and foremost.
All right, there you go.
My first sin was being born Black. In some people's eyes, and then other people's eyes, my second sin was being born Black and gay. So, and then you want to take it a step further, it's being born Black, gay in the South, So, I mean, NWA was rapping about things that were happening to Black men and whatnot. What I don't understand is how we can have such passion. And, I feel like I'm Black. I have the right to say this. Okay. It's not saying discounting Black Lives Matter by any means necessary. However, with that being said, we're so passionate and so driven with, police brutality, A, B, C, and D. But living here, even in Nashville, every day I'm turning on the news about young men killing other young Black men. Like in my mind, if I'm being completely real, not discounting at all that Black Lives matter, because they do. In order for life to exist, Black lives has got to matter. They're not only matter, they are needed. Right. However, with that being said, it's kind of disappointing when you see young Black men picking up guns and killing other young Black men, and you're like, where have we gotten to? Like where are the elders that we were raised with? Like I don't think that was crossing our minds growing up. Like you have some fist fights and stuff in the yard, but grabbing a gun and stuff, and it's just both sides, man. So I guess my concern is, when do Black lives start to matter to Black people?
Now, how do you feel when somebody interjects with the statement, all lives matter? How do you, what is your compare and contrast to those? Like, do you feel like the all lives matter statement is conflicting? Do you think it's like a counter move? Like, how do you feel about that?
I think all lives matter is irrelevant, because I got another gunshot. Nobody is saying all lives, that nobody's saying that all lives don't matter. That's not what we're saying. What we are talking about is policemen shooting and killing unarmed Black people without cause at all. That's the discussion. You know what I mean? Yeah. With that being said, to my brothers and my sisters, you guys have got to also understand that you guys killing gay men and Black trans women is the same fight that we're fighting for, asking for that relief as well. So because you don't, and I think that sometimes when we're in the South, and and I'm sorry to, actually I'm not sorry. Okay. If this may be offensive to anyone, then maybe you want to kind of research it. But I think when you know better, you do better, first of all. And I think that sometimes when you're stuck in a environment where education is minimal, I think that you're only able to operate with the mental tools that you have, which is also minimal.
I dig that. I dig that. So, all right. So now that you kind of brought it up a little bit, but now this is something that is I don't gonna say it's new to me, but I've been trying to keep up because I hadn't seen you. It's been a while. Like I said, probably we talked on the phone a few times, but I hadn't probably seen you since like '05, coming from a school break or anything like that. Tell me how you went about the transition of doing drag. Like what inspired you to do that?
I thought you were gonna ask me, tell me how you look so good at 38, but okay. Anyways,
You got the scrub going on, bro. Hey,
I'm serving you Butch Queen tonight, honey. Butch Queen.
eyebrows. I see you, homie.
Yes. So,
Yes, transition.
well, my first time in drag was with an ex of mine, and he used to be a drag queen, and we did drag, and I put on a pair of heels, and I was like, I love this. And
All right.
I feel like I've been collecting heels since then. It was kind of crazy because we kind of started out as like, like we were like the pose. It was like sisters in this aspect. But when we were over and done with, honey, I was like Angela Bassett on What's Love Got to Do with It. You can go, but I'm keeping my name. So, and I just kind of, my mother adopted me, Miss China, the Ebony Goddess here in Nashville. That's my godmom, and not my godmom. She's my drag mom and probably my godmom. But she just kind of took me under her wing, and drag is like an outlet for me to express the power that I feel like I have. But sometimes, just as being a human, life gets hard sometimes. So that's an escape for me,
Now I feel you, man, and it's I've heard the argument before. Like I used to be an avid listener of Dr. Umar Johnson, and that dude still owe me. He still owe me like $5 or whatever. But
listen, send him a
because
bill.
I donated to his school fund or whatever, and he ain't built that school yet. So yeah, but no. Anyway, oh man,
Where was this at? Where was this at that you sent that money to build the school?
It was to the Marcus Garvey Frederick Douglass school, whatever. It was in Delaware. He just had us all twisted, man. He was speaking that good shit, and
that sounds like the building fund. That when you be collecting for the building fund, but you go back 20 years later, he's like, I remember that doorknob when I was a kid.
He was building that money up. That's what he was doing. There was an argument between him and another lesbian, and she said that the BLM was created by LGBTQ women. I don't know if I can't really clarify that. That's just what he said. That's what she said actually too. I think in St. Louis it started. I think after the Mike Brown incident.
I have never heard of that, so I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were discussing the thing of the I forgot that book. The DCM might have been the three other four when they tried to label homosexuality as a mental illness. You know what I'm talking about?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Okay, good. So let me ask you this question first, man. Or what they were discussing.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to people who scientifically make a statement about it being a mental illness?
I would tell those people you need to read a real book, a real book like that. I mean, that's just the most absurd thing I've ever heard. Like that is a mental illness. You know what I mean? Because there are some people that are considered bisexual. So if that's the case, then we all must be kind of crazy. Like, I mean, I just don't think that being transgender is a mental illness. I think anyone that says a comment like that, I think they have mental illness, to be honest with you.
Okay. I dig that. All right. So Okay. So the rest of his argument was she was trying to say that she felt like that in the gay community, they're being left out when it comes to this type of movement. Dr. Umar Johnson said in response that the black movement is no, they said that the gay movement is nothing greater than the black movement because, like you said, you're born black. Like you said that, that's already a sin. You know what I'm saying? You're already born black. But I guess my question is, being that we are born black, do you believe that people can be born gay? Is it through atrocities or certain instances like I've been through? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever dealt with anything like that brought you to this particular preference? You know what I'm saying, in your life? Has anything happened to you that traumatized you, or was it just you've always been attracted to, the same sex?
I would tell you this. I think I speak for majority of my brothers and my sisters who are LGBTQIA. They, if we could, I feel like being gay is similar to being black. If you see the struggles that we go through, and if you think for 1 second anyone chooses to put themselves in that situation. I remember one time I was downtown Nashville and I was coming home from the bar and this guy was screaming obscenities to me from across the street. Young, crazy, done. I'm then probably had a Red Bull or two, like ready to, go crazy. And then I thought these guys were security guards and that they were there to kind of kind of control the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing I know, I was being jumped by 3 guys on the corner of Commerce and 2nd Street with a dislocated elbow and a shoulder and a cast for 6 months.
Ooh.
Like in the Tennessean, So I think that if you have to stop and ask yourself, if would you change being black if people wouldn't call you the N-word, if people wouldn't be racist toward you? Like, I mean, you didn't choose for people to be that way. You didn't have a fight in that game. So for you to think that someone chooses to go through that hardship of being gay or transgender or anything, only an idiot would think something like that. No, and I say that, in a way that it's ignorant. It's because you really don't know what you're talking about.
Do you feel that that may play a part in it sometimes though? Like, okay, like for me, okay, like the story I told you, me being sexually molested by the same sex, 5 years. So I indulged within that lifestyle. Of course, I was a kid. Like I didn't, I didn't know much. I didn't know much at all. But once I got at a particular age, I was able to make, pretty much my own decision. So it's hard for me to say. It's hard for me to say like the correct answer on.
Let me ask you this question. Okay, I want to ask you this question. Yeah. Are you asking me that do I feel like I'm gay because of some type of sexual harassment or sexual assault? That maybe are you asking me that do I feel like people turn gay because they are sexually assaulted or molested or raped when they're younger?
Okay, yeah. Talk about that stigma. Can you?
Okay. So I want to. You just said that you had that experience at your age. Mm-hmm. What is your sexual orientation?
Say that one more time.
You had that experience at your age as far as sexual assault goes. Right. What is your sexual preference?
Oh, heterosexual.
Absolutely. So that defeats that theory right there. It has nothing. I'm not saying that someone else's story is different from my story. Yeah. I had a mother that didn't play nothing like that. Like my mother may not have understood me because I didn't understand myself in the process of identifying with who I was. But I'll tell you what, I was blessed with a mother that had a solid foundation when it comes to love for her children. And I did not experience anything like that. And I don't think that you can go around saying people are gay because they were sexually assaulted or sexually harassed or raped or anything like that. I'm sorry that happened to them, but even in our discussion right now, in your experience, we've discounted that theory right there because you're a heterosexual.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, so I guess are you saying that that hasn't been done to you prior to?
No, that has never been done to me that I can remember. I know for a fact that has never been, and I'll say this lucratively.
Okay.
I come from, my family. So a little bit about my family. I'm the only child between my mom and my real father, my birth father. I
Right.
call him my mom, she calls him the sperm donor. you know, so, it was, I love my grandparents, I love my aunts and stuff, but my father and I, we don't have that close of a relationship,
Okay.
So being in at one family and then having my mom's family and then having my stepdad's family, I know for a fact my mom's family, my stepdad's family, nothing ever occurred in that aspect. Um, there were some uncomfortable situations on the other rim of things
Mhm.
that I recall, and I think that sometimes you just, as a kid growing up, and you're kind of figure it out, and like I said before, you see all the visuals and things like that. You just kind of grow to kind of learn to just take that pain and turn it into a driving force, where it's like failure is just not an option, So there were some uncomfortable things that would have happened on my real father's side,
Yeah.
and within that family origin.
Mhm.
Do I like to share that? No. Did that make me gay? Absolutely not. That had nothing to do with who I was. I
Okay.
always knew that I was different. In high
Okay.
school, I totally remember looking at girls and thinking, oh, they're pretty, but at the same time, it was just something different.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, you and I growing up,
Yeah.
we hung out, and I feel like you guys used to try to push me over here on girls. And I'm like, okay, I'm hanging out with her,
I mean,
but I
yeah.
was.
I mean, look. I didn't. I was green as hell. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I was just like,
Yeah.
you know, I just thought that like, oh, you just, just one of them little, just a little nerdy guy. You know what I'm saying? Just a little nerd, little smart kid. You know what I'm saying? And just you've always worked hard. You know what I'm saying? You've really always been nice. You've been very nice to people. You know what I'm
I
saying?
tell you, growing up, um, I feel like growing up in the process, just for myself, growing up in the midst of family and going here and going there, and I've always valued love. I didn't know I didn't know what I was doing, but I
Yeah.
knew that I just wanted to be loved,
Mm.
and I knew the value of being loved. So I feel like for me, it was one of those things like that's just kind of, that's just what's the driving force of my being, is just a foundation built on love, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that, man. And it's just man, when it comes to that, to the drag or whatever, like
Mhm.
what was, and this is a curious question though,
Mhm.
like what was your very first outfit? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you make it? What was your very? Did you buy it? And like, where was your first show? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did that? Were you nervous? Did you know what to do? Like, were you like, man, what the hell am I doing? Or, tell me about that first time experience.
my first time experience, she was a train wreck. I was I remember my first time experience. I was doing working at the car wash, and I had a wife beater on. There's a video on YouTube someplace, and I was so like my ex had a strong force, man. He was just like, I just really didn't understand that. So I was so timid, and I really was, honestly, I feel like I looked like I was a black girl in a white woman's makeup. Like, because,
Yeah.
it was just such a mess. Totally wasn't wearing anything I had back here.
Yeah.
But I tell you, doing that kind of just, doing that, it was just, it was an escape, and I was good at it. I knew that right then and there, I may not have been the top of the top. I may not have been the best of the best, but I knew that I was me, and that when I put on a pair of shoes, I challenged someone to walk with me in a pair of heels. Like, it just kind of made me feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just walk up in a pair of heels cleaning the house or mowing the yard.
Now, how do you hold on?
Yes, I am your neighbor. What?
How do you do that without getting your heel stuck in the grass, bro?
Listen, it's all about the ball and toe, ball and toe, ball and toe.
I feel you. You know, and so when did your parents know at that time? You know, when you told your parents about it, how did they take it? With the complete makeover, like that 100%. Um, you were just sure this is what I'm gonna do, and then now you decide, you know what I'm saying, to tell your parents. Like, how did they take it?
Well, if I'm being completely honest, and it's crazy because before we came live tonight, I was make sure I called my mother and I told my mother, "Mom, you're the love of my life. I love you to the moon and back," and A, B, C, and D, and we had a discussion, and and it took me kind of back. When I was younger, I was mad, I was pissed off, I was full of rage, I was upset. Nobody's taking my side, nobody's agreeing with me. But what I realize now is that they didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
They didn't really know about LGBTQ. My mother thought it was something she had did. It's the reason I turned out the way I was, like, and it was hurtful for her to kind of go through that. My mom comes from a bloodline and of, like, as far as like the ministry goes. My dad, his father was a reverend. I'm surrounded by a sea of reverends, honey, everywhere I turn. So, like it was difficult, but I tell you where I made it easy. I made it easy when I started saying, you know what? Because before the process, I felt like it was hard going off to college, being the first college graduate, going to college. That was a trying time in itself.
Yeah.
Figuring out you're gay. Here you are hanging out with all these gay guys, and they have everything in the world, but they're all doing God knows what. And you get up on a Sunday morning and you're like, why am I still awake? And then you're like, this is not who I am.
Yeah.
So it was that transitional period for me. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I was so confused, man, so confused. And so it's kind of it was hard for me to really have my parents accept something that I didn't understand. So being the older me, I understand that. Because it's like I had to take a journey that neither one of us had taken before. Neither one of us had taken before. How am I going to make them understand something I barely even understood myself? But I tell you, when I started to own who I was, when I started to have respect for myself that nobody could take away from me, I think that started to encourage the people around me. That was like, okay, this is what it is.
So here's a conflicting question, and I mean this is a question I believe everybody's asked or talked about in a sense, and you probably answered it before. How do you feel? There's some people that feel a certain way about gay people raising children or adopting children. What do you think about that? Like, what do you think about when the people say that? Like, they feel like that there is, they say that it's not like the right way to say that leads them to, to be gay.
That's like me saying that's like me saying that a heterosexual parent that's broke raising a child leads him to be broke. That's just not the case. I tell you, in my personal opinion, I have gay friends that have adopted kids, and some of these, I won't say some, the kids that I have met and encountered, probably have a more solid foundation than any child of a heterosexual. Like, don't discount us. Like, you talk about mental disease. I think that anyone that says that or we're incapable of raising children, like, I think love is what you need to raise a child. And as a gay man, going through everything that I have been through, the value that I have for love, I could raise a nest of kids, but I'm busy. Like, don't discount it. Like, I think that's I think that's an ignorant thing to say that gay people can't raise children or shouldn't raise children. Like
Gotcha.
that's like me saying someone who's only has a part-time job shouldn't raise children, which happens every day.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you on that, man. And you know, what would you have to say to tell me your definition of the word homophobic? Because there's so many terminologies of it. What does it mean to you?
I think someone that's homophobic is someone who um, has no clue what they're talking about. So it's easy to say I'm homophobic than to ask questions. Um, or I think that someone who's homophobic who is dealing with their own issues where they have gone through a situation and they're still trying to figure out who they are. So it's kind of easy to say all these things over here, fag this or anything derogatory to the gay community, because the reality is all that hate you're spitting out over here on us is what you kind of are harvesting inside.
That's right. And Carol said Tavarus would make an excellent father because he's a beautiful soul. Facts on facts on facts.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, shout out to Kristen Luna. Shout out to Stephanie T. Roy. What's up, T? Crystal Carpenter. Miss Rhonda Eppinger.
Oh,
hey.
let me tell you about Miss Eppinger. So I remember going to church at Mountain Zion Baptist Church, and she will never know the impact she had on my life. When I would stand there, Royce, you and I was on the praise team at church. I didn't know how to hit a note, but we was ready to praise. But I tell you, when Miss Eppinger sang, honey, it just her and Sister McGee, just filtered my soul, honey. So I love you, Miss Eppinger.
Her and Zenobia, boy, oh my God.
And the shoes for me, okay, so it was crazy being in Tullahoma in a Baptist church and being there for worship time. What I looked for most is what kind of shoes were the outfits the women were wearing and like the shoes they were wearing and how they stood with that heel pointed. It was crazy. I just loved a powerful, strong Black woman,
Yeah. I feel you, man. And so let me tell you, I've got a simple terminology for homophobic.
Okay.
This kind of helps me. A phobia, right? A phobia is a fear.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of anybody gay. I think that's if you want to look at it technically, the way the two words are put together, But I can say at a time I was afraid of accepting who people were that were not like me.
Let me stop you right there, if I may. Okay. What if I told you I'm not scared of Black men, but at a time I was afraid of who they were?
Oh. Hold on. Okay, that's a pretty good. Okay, so you want me to answer that?
I just want you to hear that.
Okay. Say that again for the people in the back.
What if I was to say there was a time in my life that, I was afraid of Black men, but, I didn't accept who they were. Like, that's what I want my brothers and sisters to understand, is that we've been in the same fight. NWA was rapping about this when they was killing Black men and abusing and police brutality, A, B, C, and D, and that's still going on today. So in order for you to have people that are part of this fight, we all need to feel included, because we are all going through a fight over here on our own. And all we're asking for is not for somebody to say, okay, make this about us, but like, hey, we just had a brother in Philadelphia kill a transgender woman and throw her body in the river.
Yeah.
And then they volunteered for him to turn himself in. Like, we have the fights going on in our community as well. So when you talk about Black Lives Matter, and we talk about gay people, I didn't understand them. I mean, and we're talking about Black Lives Matter. I'm so confused by that.
I feel you. So, it's what I will say is that even for what you said earlier, like you said, it's all the same. It's all the same fight. You know, whether you're, if we're just speaking about black people right now, you know what I'm saying, just keeping it real. It's whether you're gay, heterosexual, bisexual, transgender, all that. You know what I'm saying. It's still the same fight at the end of the day, because when you might be in a situation, which I pray nobody else I know has or will be, in a situation to where there could be something negative going on with the police brutality. Those police, they have no idea what your preference is. They just see, okay, there goes a brother. You know, it's not like they go around asking, "Are you gay?" Yeah, bow. Like, no, it's just.
But yeah, that's in a way that's fortunate. That's fortunate. However, if they do see that you're black and you are gay, or if they see you're black and you're transgender, you think being black is the crime? Try walking out here and getting in a situation being black and gay, or try being a transgender sister or brother walking out here. You know, I'm not more familiar with our transgender as far as our F to M more than I am M to Fs as far as that goes. And I hope I said that right, because it's still new to me as far as that category goes. Okay. But I am, you know, when you're a black transgender woman, think about how bad it is for her. You think about how it is for a black man. Think about a black transgender woman.
Yeah, yeah. And see, that's what, you know what? That's what we're gonna close on talking about right here. This is how we're gonna stem this out, because there's some things that I just want to know, because I know sometimes I was in a situation to where I mistake somebody as somebody else, and it told me that it was like, well, dang, man, I feel like I have a lot to like study to figure out. Okay, I get the LGBTQ and then the I and the A. Can you explain those acronyms? What do they mean so people would know? I want to know.
Oh my God, way to put me on the spot over here. I really appreciate that. You totally put me on the spot. So, in my experience, LGBTQ is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer.
Now, what's the difference between queer and gay?
Well, that's an interesting question as well, because you know, that's like someone asking me, since we're being real, what's the difference between being black and a nigga? I don't know. I don't use the terminology. I don't use that terminology at all. That's just my personal preference. I don't want someone running up in my face calling me queer or anything like that. And I'll tell you, from my understanding with discussions of my brothers and sisters in that lifestyle, it's basically them taking ownership of that word so that they can own that word. So if someone calls them that, it has no harm because they already own that word. So what's next?
You was coming with it, sir. Hold up.
Listen, okay, she stays ready.
Yeah, look. Okay, so speak. Now, let me ask you this: since you use that analogy between a black guy and a nigga, now I would say that I think I just kind of came up with the answer on is a queer somebody who just likes to maybe dress like a woman, like feel like a woman, but they don't have any type of sexual experiences with the same sex? Is it just how they want to feel at the moment, but nothing physical?
You know, do not quote me. I'm not educated on the queer lifestyle. While I do have brothers and sisters that identify as queer, I don't want to speak outside of what I don't know. But I can tell you that I think the power of that word is ownership, as far as like when you have someone who is queer, it's probably the uncertainty. I don't really know what would define queer, because like I said before, like someone says what defines the N-word, you know, I don't really know, because I don't associate myself with it.
I know one of our listeners said They said it's an umbrella term, but they said Q can also mean questioning. You know, which
That
I've
is so
heard.
true.
Okay, okay.
Thank you for that checkmate, whoever said that.
Yeah, Crystal Carpenter. You know what I'm saying? Shout out. I'm gonna read what B.J. Anderson said. He said, "The true enemy is fear and hate. The world will only know peace, ideas, and hateful teachings. We have to understand that we are not fighting people, but ways of life, and have to change how we live and teach and grow together. Each generation, we are closer to unity." And shout out to B.J. Anderson for that.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, um, Vivica Steele. All right. So how
Uh,
can you hear me?
I can now. I was like, oh my God, what has happened?
Okay,
We
okay.
had some technical
My question
difficulties
was
earlier on my end. And I was like, not again, girl.
no. So Vivica Steele. How many shows have you done thus far? And why that name? Where you come up with that name?
Oh goodness. I have been performing for since I was a little boy. No, I remember the first time I put on a pair of heels. I was sneaking around the house in my mom's little black shoes. Sorry, mom, you probably don't know about this, but I used to, when she would leave the house, I'd be in those little black shoes and put like a dress on. We were back there in the back with my sisters and stuff. I'm over here acting like I'm the teacher, running things. But I tell you, when I first stepped on stage was for a softball charity drag show that we did to raise money for our team going to the Gay World Series softball tournament, and it was when I put my foot in those heels. That's what happened. And then I was like, at first, because at first I was like, okay, I was my first outfit. I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't have that good of a mentor as far as like for my channeling my inner black womanness. You know what I mean? Like I knew that it could be better. My face could be a little better and whatnot. But I tell you, when I first did it, it was just something. I just got bit by the bug, honey. I just got bit by the bug.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. So I look forward to see, man. I actually, well, hopefully, when all this thing is over, man, bro. Now, don't you got a show tomorrow? Do you want to throw that in on the plug? Where can we see that? It's going to be live online.
Well, no, it's
It's
not going to
still
be
live.
live for you
Okay, all right.
all.
Okay,
But
okay.
I do have a show at the Lipstick Lounge every first Friday in Nashville, Tennessee, when that bar reopens. It's hosted by Kennedy Ann Scott, who's a drag
Yeah,
sister of mine. I love her to the moon and back. And I also host my own drag show at Tin Roof on Broadway.
okay.
And tentatively, we currently have a show that is scheduled for July the 12th. So we're playing that by ear. But if you aren't able to get to that show, as I'm over here just scooping through my dates to make sure I give you the right information, like we'll have another one in August. So we're kind of working out those dates in regards to the COVID and things like that, because we want to make sure that anyone who comes out to support us is safe.
I feel that, man. Well, man,
Yes.
look, is there anything that you kind of want to leave? You've been, man, you put me on a few things, man. You had some nice little punchlines in there, homie. You you all right, man. I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Thank
not
you.
saying this because you're my cousin. You know what I'm saying? I told that at the end, but just you being able to, um, accept who you are and living in your truth, but still being a good person. Being respectful, but at the same time, like you don't really bite your tongue. You mean what you say. You say what you mean. Um, Brother, I'm proud of you. I want to tell you that from one brother to another.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Good talk. Is there
Uh,
anything that you want to leave the people here?
Also, I have a podcast that I'm starting called The Bitter Truth. We're coming out with that. And you guys we'll have some information about that coming up and out. Thank you for letting me come onto your show this evening. And if I can leave you all with anything is, before you judge an individual, get to know that individual. Because sometimes, especially in my opinion, we were talking about what it's like to be, a black guy growing up in the South in this time right now, especially if you're a brother or sister. Like, remember how it makes you feel when white people look at you and discount you just because you're black. Like, don't look at your brothers and sisters who are queer, lesbian, transgender, gay, you know, questioning, whatever that may be, and discount them. You know, it's all about love. You know, it's all, at the end of the day, man, we are here on this place for this particular time. And in my opinion, that's to experience the love that we have here.
Woo! That on Instagram, and yeah, I'm at the pop up of one of them shows, homie. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
you let me know. I'll make sure you have a VIP seat ready for you. Ready.
Come on with it, homie. You know what I'm saying? No,
hospitable already. Hospital already.
well, man, listen, I appreciate you, man. And when we close here, just stay on the line so we can kind of like recap. But
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? This is Tavarus Taylor, aka Vivica Steele, 615. I'm your boy Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team. Speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And we are out of here till next Monday.